Just this last weekend, I was able to make $4,000 in commissions. I hold everyone, I say, if you're full-time, there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing at least 10 presentations a week.
Yeah.
10 presentations a week is the floor. If you're not doing...
And that's if you're terrible.
Exactly. And if you're not doing 10 presentations a week, that means that you're not working or you're having an issue at the door. Once you start thinking, oh, it's the leads, it's the territory, it's the way the weather is today, it's hot, you've lost.
Coming to you with a new episode of the Insurance Man Podcast Don't Shoot. We got a special guest, Mr. Andrew Dylan Wood. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, bro. Thanks for having me back, bro.
For sure. Yeah. The reason we asked Dylan to come back is I was going through all of our numbers and really was just blown away. Like looking at your stats in comparison to just agency averages, over 17 years doing this. A couple quick stats that I pulled on you, 2.3 million on your own pen. Oh. Absolutely phenomenal. 2.3 million lifetime. You wrote over 30,000 on your own pen last month. The crazy thing about that is you did that and had a 50% close on your leads. I think it was 78 leads and you sold 39 apps. Phenomenal. Then I went back and I looked at just the last rolling 12 months, 251,000 on your personal pen with just 870 leads. Your conversion rates are through the roof, man, which are just absolutely phenomenal. What's the reason that you convert at such a higher level than most other agents?
I think because I'm doing the same thing over and over again. I'm not switching, I'm not reinventing the wheel. It's the same thing that's over and over again that I've been doing from the beginning. I think just maybe perfecting it. And then obviously the way that the leads are ran. So the way that I teach my guys and the way that I run leads is, hey, you may have an inventory of leads that you're not getting to, right? And you may purchase 5 or 10 more in that same area or close. I'm going and working the older ones and the newer ones. Sometimes I can get a brand new fresh batch and I only go and get the older one involved with the program. So I'm just constantly keeping them in the route, being diligent with it. And then, because sometimes you can go to a house 2 or 3 times, no one be home. And then the 4th time you go there, it's a laydown. Obviously activity. And then, last month I wrote 30 and this month I wrote 30 again. So back to back. Now I did it back to back months. So,
let's go.
So yeah, I'm pumped, man. I'm ready to keep it going.
And you're doing that
with splitting business too. That's
not even calculated in there.
Yeah, not even calculated in there. That's splitting thousands of dollars with my agents and then having thousands of dollars rolling over to next month too. So just trying to stay active, just trying to be diligent with it.
So you said mixing in old leads. Let's break that down for, let's say, an agent that has no idea, that's never purchased leads, never worked leads. What exactly does that mean to you and like how you're training your agents on that?
So if I'll say I go buy 10 leads, right? Buy 10 leads and then maybe I get three houses involved with it and I don't get in front of the other one. So I got 7 leads that essentially, even though I've knocked them, they're still fresh leads. If they haven't gotten involved with the program, they haven't said no or I'm calling the cops, those are still brand new leads to me. We pay good money for these. We have to make sure that we work them good. So say I have 7 left. Say Tracy hits me up and says, or Bailey and says, hey, I got 10 more in that area. Yeah. I'll take the 10 more, but then I'll still go work the older leads that I haven't hit. So I'm cycling them all in. We use a route planner, and I just basically, what I've done ever since the beginning was plug every lead in and just follow that route.
What route planner do you use?
I use Route For Me.
Route For Me, okay. Yeah. What about how old of leads will you work?
I don't really ever look at the
date. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, they send it in for a reason. Now, obviously, there are some certain type of leads. We all know speed to lead is the best way, regardless. As soon as you get the leads, you want to get out there and work them, obviously. But in a perfect world, you're not going to see those people right away. It may be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Oh, yeah. The beautiful thing, though, that I've noticed over the years is that, especially with direct mail, like people can send in a lead, right? You get it, and then they may send in another one within the next month or 2 months. So when you're at their door, they don't know if you're here for the lead for 2 months ago, 3 months ago, or 2 weeks ago. Yep. I've been countless times where I pull up and I'm getting them involved in the program, and then there's the lead piece. Like, yeah, I was just about to send this off. So direct mail pieces obviously have the longest shelf life, in my opinion. But even if I work a web lead, just the other day I was in Roseville and I was working leads from January. Yeah. So at the end of the day, they requested it for some reason. My job is to go out there and see why they requested it.
How do you manage and keep that organized? What's your system for organizing that?
I could always be a little bit more organized. No one's ever perfect, right? Yeah. My cars sometimes look like a tsunami's hit it. Yeah. I just try to keep all the leads where I can see in eyes view. If I can see them, then I know, okay, I'm in this area, let me see. Okay, well, I got this. But the biggest thing that I would say helped me is the Route For Me. Okay. Because that way, when I'm looking at the route, no matter what city I'm in, no matter what part of the city I'm in, no matter what zip code I'm in, if I'm in larger markets, I know, okay, I got 4 leads over here. I got 5 leads over here.
So it saves your old routes from before?
Yeah. I keep it from all the way between Sacramento to my area, Sacramento to Bakersfield, even Vegas. It's all just one route. So that way, When I'm entering new leads, when I'm working old leads, I see everything right in front of me on my phone.
Okay, are you marking when they're sold, or how do you know if they're sold?
As soon as I get them involved in the program, I take them right off.
Oh, you're taking them off the route meet.
Yeah, if they're still on that route, that means
they're in play.
They're in play, yeah.
They're in play.
They're ready to go.
Dude, that's smart. That's smart. How many, and so you can put in, because I'm not familiar, I've never used it. So you can put in as many, is it pretty much unlimited?
Yeah, you can put in unlimited. I think they give you a couple free routes when you first get it, but then when you purchase it, you can put in as many. I have had hundreds of leads in there from up and down California, Vegas, all the areas that I work.
Anytime you're in there, it takes all the thinking out of just, hey, I'm in.
Oh, I got 10. And then the way that I know what's newer and what's older is obviously the higher the count. So say if I have 100 leads right in the route, okay, there's lead number 95 over here, 2 miles away. Okay, that's a brand new lead. I'm gonna go hit that one. Or there's lead 80 over here. So that's how I dictate.
You'll still try and give the new ones a little bit more priority if possible.
Speed to lead for sure. The biggest thing that I tell people is when you get in the industry, you got to have people to see. Leads are the lifeblood of our business, right? So in the beginning, you want to build an inventory. When a new agent comes on and they purchase 10 or 15 leads, they're not going to go sell them all at once.
100%.
Right? If they get a couple, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
But keep working those. Keep working those. You paid good money for those leads, and it's a high quality lead. Go and work it. We've had new leads, brand new leads that on the web they get requested a day ago, and you go there and they're trying to say, no, I don't want it. So the biggest thing that I try to teach is don't look at the time so much. Obviously, speed to lead is the most beneficial, but at the end of the day, people, no matter if it's a brand new lead, no matter if it's an old lead, they're always going to hit you with those rebuttals. What? That's just human nature. Doesn't mean that they don't want it. Doesn't mean they're not interested. You're a stranger knocking their door. They're always going to have some reservations when they first see you. So it's our job. The reason why Lincoln has us and why you have us and Golden has us and why we do so good is because it's our job to go and peel them back, make them comfortable, and then show their true colors. Because at the end of the day, they've sent it in for a reason. I think you or someone told me that they found that a lead has to be sent to someone at least 3 times before they respond to it. 3 times at least. That's what the average is.
Yeah.
So people have been thinking about it, and then they finally send it in, and then here you are, and they're like, oh, I didn't think no one was going to come.
Yeah.
So it's our job to go and break those walls down, so to say, and don't build them.
Yeah, you know? I was talking to somebody, and they're independent, and they were having a conversation with a mail vendor that was doing direct mail. Luckily for us, Lincoln does everything in-house.
Yeah.
But they looked at a specific area and they're like, oh, we've dropped that same zip code or the same area like 6 times in like the last 2 or 3 weeks. So 6 different agents got, I guarantee, a ton of the same leads, people resending those in. And so we're getting that too. Everybody's mailing to the same niche, the same people. For sure. But definitely not only having that and then having the pre-approach letter, obviously.
It helps a tremendous amount.
Helps tighten up.
For sure.
Last month, you had a couple of new agents that have started. You got Dylan that's killing it. What did he write his last
second month? He had 18,000 second month. So almost broke that 20,000. So what I do when new agents come on, because sales is all enthusiasm. It's all momentum, right? So we want to try to get people pumped up, enthusiastic, and excited about going to work. So what I always do is when someone comes on, hey, we have milestone bonuses. The first time you clear 10,000 in a month, you're getting a $1,000 bonus, 20, 30,000. If someone writes 40,000 in my group, that's when we step it up. We do a $2,500 bonus because that's you have to be a killer and you have to be grinding almost every day to write something that big. Yeah. I do these things to try to keep them enthusiastic and get them pumped up about the business because, just like we said last time we were here, no one ever grows up and says they want to be a life insurance agent, but this gets addicting. And even like my buddy Dylan DeBose, he's seen me working with you guys for 11 years before he started. And he's like fallen in love with it. He's like, man, I love this gig.
What was the tipping point for him getting his license?
Just he was in a different career and he just said, hey, you know what, the career's dying out, and he's like, I need something new. And I said, hey man, his dad, Tom DeBose, ran the car dealership, was a very prominent figure back in the day. I was like, bro, you're bred for this, man.
It's in your blood.
Yeah, it's in your blood, bro. You've been around it your whole life.
Yeah.
So one thing about him though is like when he came on, I told him, hey, no BS. Learn the presentation, do it exactly how I say it, and do everything that I say that I do, you do, right? If I'm saying this, you say this. Because that's what I did when I started. My story, I tell everyone, hey, when I started, didn't have any sales experience, no life insurance experience, living at home, 22-year-old kid, all I did was plug in, right?
Yeah.
Don't reinvent the wheel. Just do what I'm telling you to do right here, and you're going to have the same exact results as I am. Yeah. There's no reason why your results should be any different than mine. And he came in, and he was kind of like, oh, man, I'm not a good test taker. We barely did good in high school and stuff. And I'm nervous about taking the test. I said, just study, give it your all, and you'll pass it. He ended up passing like a B. And I said, do the same thing with the presentation. And before he even gotten his license through California, he already knew the presentation. Now, what I'm doing with my guys is back in the day, I was a little more lenient where I was like, okay, here, learn the presentation. We're going to take you out. We're going to split some business with you. We're going to give you some leads. Now it's not like that. Yeah. Now it's, hey, if I'm going to invest my time in you, you better invest your time in yourself.
100%.
Right? You give me 100%, I'll give you 150. So the first thing that they have to do is learn that presentation, because, and I even did this, what I really was the tipping point for me was we had a couple agents come on, and I think one was here before, and he came back, and he said, man, I wrote business before. There were just some circumstances why I had to quit the business. I can do it. I can't learn this presentation. It's going to be a little hard for me, but I can go out there and write. So I said, okay, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Here's X amount of leads. He goes and writes the business. Almost all of it falls off. Wasn't building any value.
Yeah.
And then what happens? He gets a bad taste in his mouth. I'm not making any money, and he quits.
Yeah.
So here I am thinking like, oh, I got to hurry up and get this agent out in the field, so that way he doesn't lose his enthusiasm.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't know the material. He goes out, has a little bit of success, but then it all falls off, and then he quits. So I said, ultimately, all roads are going to end the same place.
100%.
So at least let's find out how serious you are about it, and let's see if you're going to learn that presentation. Because if you're serious about this and you really think this is going to change your life,
100%.
There's no reason why you shouldn't learn the presentation, right?
100%. What are you seeing that it's taken most agents to learn your presentation, your script?
How long? Or
what's like typical with a new agent that you're seeing?
So once again, back in the day, even recently, I was like, okay, you tell me how long you'll need to learn it. Now it's not like that. Hey, we're going to set deadlines.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a goal, if you don't have an endpoint, then you're going to be pissing in the wind. I say that a lot to my guys. We don't want to ever be pissing in the wind. We want to make sure that we're dialed in and we have focus on what we're doing. So I'm going to give you a week. If you need longer than that's fine, but when we come back in a week, there better be some progress. There better be some progression on your presentation to show me that you've been practicing. Because if you're not going to practice by yourself in the mirror, there's no way that you're going to go out and grind by yourself.
Yeah,
right?
never going to happen.
So that's what I've been doing lately, and then it's been working pretty well.
What's your next step? Are you making them role play over the phone or in person?
We role play, and then what I've been doing a lot lately is just like, even last time we were talking, didn't ever do hardly any meetings. It was just basically me and an agent one-on-one. Right now I'm trying to build culture, you know, where everyone's holding each other accountable, where everyone knows everyone, right? My agents know each other. So when they go and they on our group me and they see some agent, especially a new agent that's having success, and they hear them on the Zoom. So I do multiple Zooms every week. I do a Monday Zoom with the whole group, where it's basically like running over numbers, running over closing percentages, motivational things like, hey, this is what we're gonna do for the week. And then I have a Thursday Zoom for my new guys, just my new guys, everyone who hasn't written $10,000 in 1 month or within 6 months, still fresh in the game, where all we're going over is techniques, presentations, closing, door techniques, objections, things of that nature. What I do now is we have them do a presentation in front of everybody. So that way they get comfortable not only doing it in front of me, but doing it in front of other people. So that way they get comfortable doing it.
You're forcing them out of their shell.
100%. And I never used to do that before. Now I'm like, we have to build a culture. We have to make sure that because when people see other people winning, they're like, hey, I want to win.
Yeah. And they already know. There's no secret of what you're teaching the other people.
Exactly.
It's just them actually taking the time to learn it and then implement it. Now, you personally, how do you recommend, like for your agents, like how do you run your weekly schedule? Tell me a little bit about your routine and what are some things that you're telling like a new agent?
Most important thing, especially in the beginning, you have to get the reps in. No one ever wakes up. If I told them I woke up and I'm the agent that I am today, when I first started, it'd be a bold-faced lie. The only way that you're going to get better is by putting the reps in, getting comfortable with what you're doing on a day in and day out basis. And what I always try to explain to everyone, this is a get out what you put in business. So when you're first starting out, you want to go out and try to do at least 15 presentations a week.
Yeah.
I hold everyone, I say, if you're full-time, there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing at least 10 presentations a week.
Yeah.
10 presentations a week is the floor. If you're not doing...
And that's if you're terrible.
Exactly. And if you're not doing 10 presentations a week, that means that you're not working or you're having an issue at the door, right? I say we got to get the reps in. We got to get as many reps in as possible so that way you get comfortable with it. Because that way, just like I said, you're going to it's a learning curve, right?
Yeah.
People are only going to say so many things, right? So if you go out and you go and see 10 to 15 presentations a week and you're hearing all these objections that one can throw at you, you're like, okay, now you're starting to get comfortable. Now you're starting to get comfortable with the rebuttals, and that commission breath is going away. So I tell everyone, hey, if you want to make this happen, the person who puts in the most time is always going to win in our business.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the most talented. You don't have to be the best talker. None of that matters. Who's putting in the most time? That'll always tell. The numbers never will lie. So what I have been doing lately that really has been helping is tracking everybody's presentations, us as a group and everybody individual. So that way I can see where stuff's messing up, right? So if you're getting a lot of leads, if I get an agent that's getting 100 leads a month, right? Or 25 leads a week, and you're only giving 5 or 8 presentations, that's telling me that one, you're not working enough or you're weak at the door. Or if you're giving a lot of presentations, but they're not ending up with a lot of closes, that means that your presentation or your close is weak. So I've been doing that a lot. Been tracking it like a stickler. Hey, don't forget to report your daily presentation and your close count. And man, ever since we've been doing that, we haven't closed anything less than 60% of all presentations that we've been sitting down with. Even sometimes as high as 70, 75%. Tuesday, we give 19 presentations, 19 houses, and we were able to close 14 of those houses.
Strong.
75%, something like that. So I'm like, guys, so what I stress to my guys is, look, when you're at the door, don't think about selling it.
Yeah.
Don't think about anything else but getting the quote on the table. Because if you get the quote on the table, that means that you've given the presentation, you've built the value, and now you're going to use our techniques to close, which if you're doing everything that we ask you, you should be closing at least 60% of your sit downs. I know the standard's like 50, but I told my guys we need to be doing 60 to 65 with the stuff that I'm teaching you.
100%.
So, ever since then, it's been working, holding people accountable.
People knowing you can't put a number, like a dollar amount or anything. If you don't know what your numbers are, you can reverse engineer like, hey, I want to make 10 grand a month. If you know how many sits it takes, how many presentations, that's
You've
the
always been
easiest
big
way.
on that, bro. You've always been a numbers guy, and just recently I've just started being a stickler for it, just so we're always in the know of what we're doing.
Are guys posting at the end of the day?
They'll post it like as soon as they close a policy. They'll say, okay, 1 for 49 or 2 for 105, whatever the case.
But how about their door? How about their door knocks and their
So at the end
presentation?
of the day, it's at the end of the day. Yeah, so it's not an app count. It's a presentation versus close. So if you were in 5 houses today, now sure, one of those houses may generate 2 or 3 applications. Yeah. We don't look at that until the end of the month when the company gives us all of our breakdowns and our penetration reports. Yeah, that's when we'll go, okay, you got 100 leads and you submitted 50 applications. That's when we'll break that down. What we look for on a day-to-day basis when I make my guys report is, hey, okay, you sit down in 5 homes today and you were able to close 3 of those homes. Yeah. Right? Now, sure, they may have equated to 6 apps, right? Yeah. But you sit down 5 homes.
You're looking at the actual numbers of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I love that. I wish more of our guys would do that.
Well, you've always preached it, bro. And then this last maybe year and a half, I was saying, hey, something's got to change. Yeah. Because it's a roller coaster. We've had a lot of production with the group, and then all of a sudden it comes crashing down, and it goes up and down. So I said, hey, you got to change. You got to adapt. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. So I said, hey, okay, I got a couple good guys right now. Foundation, we got to build a culture. Yeah. What do you do if the guys aren't communicating? Are you had any agents that are not wanting it? Done. Yeah, off the bat, you're done. Yeah, I'm not wasting any time. You've always said that, don't waste any time. New agent in Southern California had everybody do their presentation. First time these guys are doing their presentation, she did it very good. Like she was the best one. And I was pumped for them. Hey, you know what? You did it the best. I'm giving you a $100 bonus right now. Send her $100 through Zelle. Yeah. Had one of my agents in the closer area just to get her out in the car right away. Took her out to the car. And he went and split some business with her, and then she entered the witness protection agency. So she didn't like it. Yeah. So I was, hey, tried to reach out a couple times, and it wasn't really responsive. So I was like, hey, no harm, no foul. This business is for everybody, but definitely not going to waste the time. 100%. Done. Communication is everything. 100%. And the thing is that if you're not chomping at the bit to get out there when you first start, like you should be excited. Yeah. Like your first couple days in the field, you should be like, this business is going to change my life. I'm excited. I want to go see as many people. I want to be in the field. Yeah. If you don't have that in the beginning, it's going to be tough to get it. Yeah. What do you think what if someone's excited, but you think they're just nervous? Nerves is great. You have to be nervous. I was nervous. Yeah. I was nervous. You have to be. That means that you know you're alive. Yeah. But there's a difference between being nervous and having low activity. Yeah, 100%. Having no activity. You can be nervous all you want, but if you're having that activity, you're going to get through those nerves because you're going to get comfortable with it. The only reason why you're nervous is because it's something brand new, which everyone's nervous in the beginning, but you get comfortable through repetition. Yeah. To me, what helped me was thinking back to work I'd done working for my uncles and stuff. And it's like, hey, I was working in chicken guts, 14-hour days, 115-degree heat. And it's like someone telling me to get that off their porch. I'm like, this is a cakewalk. This is easy. That's nothing. I know. That was a big thing for me, too. Like, obviously, my family were farmers, but I had went and did I spoke about this last time, worked at the brake part plants right here. And, man, that really was a huge eye-opener. And so when I was starting, I was like, what else are you going to do? Yeah. What else are you going to do? Here, they're laying out the opportunity for you. You're seeing people winning in this industry. What else are you going to do, man? Burn the boats, baby. So I was like, this is like this or nothing. It's either this or poverty. Yeah. So when I started, it was like, okay, I can't fail. And that's why I tell people, if you truly believe that you're going to make this happen, nothing's going to stop you. What'd you sell your first month? My first month, I think it was like $75,000 or $8,000 in production. But then the very next month, the first week, I had a lot of business roll over, and I was your number one agent for the first week. $8,000 the first week. First week for the following month. So what was that first quarter? So your first month, you wrote $7,000-8,000. Second one was like 15, and then the third month might have been $11,000, $12,000, something like that. You did a regression as time went on. Yeah. That's what I tell people too. Those thoughts are going to enter your head. Like when I started, I was like, okay, I could do this, and then it's like, you have a little bit of a regression, right? And you're like, oh no, can I do this? Did I get lucky? Did I just get in front of the right people?
Yeah.
All those thoughts start to enter your mind, right? And so what I always try to preach to my guys is, listen, I thought that exact same way. Whatever you do, get it out of your mind. That's not how it is. This is how the business goes. Especially in the beginning, it's a roller coaster. It's
Yeah.
go up and down, but you have to stay on it to be back up. When it's at the bottom, you have to stay on it to get back up. So
Yeah.
that's why I always try to tell people, don't think like that. It's hard not to. It's human nature, but
Yeah.
it's not.
But communicating and you building the culture around that, they can plug in the other agents, they can talk to other people, they can see other people that are winning.
Exactly.
And again, none of us are doing anything that's superhuman here. It's a very simple process. It's a simple business. It's a grind, but it's very simple.
100%.
What's something that you would say when an agent goes out, you said 10 to 15 apps per week, if they don't have the inventory of leads, how many leads are you generally recommending that you guys take?
In the beginning, right, I'm watching them. So what I always do, depending on their level of commitment, communication, and their knowledge of the product, will dictate how much time and resources I want to spend on them, obviously. So if someone knows their presentation and they're excited, hey, I'll give you, to start out, maybe like $1,000 or a $1,500 balance, just so it doesn't get too out of hand in the beginning. If you're not able to convert X amount of those leads and produce, then hey, we need to work on something before we give you any more, because we're not here just to drown you in debt. We're not here just to be a lead vendor. We're here to teach you how to work the leads and utilize it for our program, right?
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll depending on their activity, depending on their commitment, $1,000 to $1,500 I'm willing to invest in them, where hey, if it goes haywire and they don't work out, it's only $1,000, $1,500.
Cut your losses.
Cut it out quick. Now if they go out, they're being responsive, they're calling me, they're saying, hey, this is what's happening, I need help, or this is the objection I got, I know they know their presentation, they're on the meetings, they're all in, and they're getting people involved in the program, I'm willing to increase that inventory. Right?
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it with new agents. But I figure that if we do that, we can figure out how important this is for them within $1,000 to $1,500 of leads. 100%. Because as we know, runoff is a son of a bitch, right? So we want to make sure that if we're going to invest in them, they got to be doing their part.
Yeah, 100%.
We can want this for them so much, right? We can be like, hey, man, there's a nice water trough out here. It's got the freshest water. You need to go take a drink. You take a drink, hey, drink it, hold their head under it, drink it, you drowned them. Right?
Yeah.
So if they don't want it, they don't want it.
100%. I learned that a long time ago. Let's talk about your door approach. What is specifically that you say at every door? Because I know you're consistent.
So I believe door approach is probably the most important part. If you have a weak door approach, you can't even build that trust to get in, to give them presentation or practice rebuttals.
You have a shot.
So what I tell people is like, hey, if you want to be a superstar, and you better take this serious, and you better be a master at all facets of the game, right? Mm-hmm. You better have a good door approach. You better have a strong presentation. You better have a good close, right? But you can get by with having a strong door approach and a good close. Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I even do it. Sometimes the presentations aren't up to par. There's certain things that may happen in the sit down where it doesn't allow you to do a full presentation, or they may already have a program with the funeral home, or the Guardian Society has no value to them because they've already paid for it up front, which isn't very likely. Most of my presentation is all Guardian Society, 24-hour payout, things of that nature. But what I tell guys is like, look, you want to be strong in all three facets, but you guaranteed have to have a good door approach and a good close. If you have a weak door, a weak close, and a good presentation, you're going nowhere.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Nowhere, right? So my door approach is very simple.
What do you wear when you go out? Let's start there.
A polo, either a Golden Memorial, Lincoln Heritage, slacks, and dress shoes.
Okay, perfect.
And then
you wear a name badge or no?
I always wear a badge.
Name badge.
Some people don't wear it. I always wear mine just because mine's old, and I've had the same one since I've been here for 11 years. But I don't know. I just always wear it, and then name badge, and that's pretty much it. Sleeves cover up the tats, and
you have the lead in hand.
Always have the lead in hand, even if it's a web lead.
You have a clipboard. Anything else you're carrying with you?
I carry just like a clipboard, but it's like one of those ones that you open up and it fans out, so it has different files.
Okay.
That way I can keep my if I have any papers on me, applications, which we don't really use anymore because of the e-app, but I'll keep my iPad in there, and it just looks, in my point of view, it just looks like, hey, I'm not here to do a long presentation. Like I had an agent one time, and he was having pretty good success, but he would come with a backpack. And I'm like, you going to the house with a backpack? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, no, don't do that no more. I'm like, what do you think?
Moving in?
What do you think the client's going to think? You're going to get in here, you're going to do a 2-hour presentation. When I come, I just got a little thing right here, and I'm like, I just got to deliver the benefits package for you and provide you with the quote.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's taking a long time. It's got a little clip, basically like a little board right here.
So you walk up to the door, lead in hand. What's your verbatim door?
My name is Andrew. Hey, how you doing? My name is Andrew Wood. I'm with Lincoln Heritage. I have a delivery for Adam Hale. Is he available?
Yeah.
That's me.
Yep.
Hey, just the guy I'm looking for. Hey, so the reason for my visit was you had recently sent this in requesting information on the Funeral Advantage program through Lincoln Heritage. Companies asked me to come and deliver your benefits package for you and provide you with the quotes. Got to ask you a few quick health questions. May I come in?
You know what? I thought you guys were just going to mail something.
For sure, yeah. So the only reason why we come out here is because anything that you typically do over the phone or through mail, there's usually a 2-year waiting period associated with it. So we offer immediate coverage. I just have to see if you qualify for it by asking you a few quick health questions. Only takes a few minutes. There's no cost, no obligation, nothing like that. Only takes about 5 minutes if you happen to spare me that, but that way I can go back to my manager and let them know I'm doing my job. And that way, if they're still giving me flack after that, hey, we can do it out here. Ma'am, at this point, if they've told me no 2 or 3 times a door, I'm like, look, ma'am,
let's just do it here.
Hey, look, all I got to do is provide you with the quote. I just have about 9 health questions to ask you. If you don't want me to come in, that's not a problem. We can do it right here. I just have to get back to my manager and let them know that I'm doing my job.
Yep.
And that way, at that point, they're like, oh, okay, all right, because they did send it in. Now, this is the kicker. If you do that, you don't go straight to the quotes, obviously. Now we're gonna unpeel them. Now we're gonna make them feel comfortable with you being there, because obviously they're not comfortable with you being there. So let's talk to them. Let's try to just get a little bit of anything else besides insurance in, just for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then boom, I'm going to the in-home survey. And after the in-home survey, it's going straight to the presentation.
So you're spending a minute or two or a couple minutes just talking
trying
about
to warm them up.
anything other than insurance.
No, this is the go-to every time. Everybody that's worked with me, this is the same thing. How long you been in the area? Are you originally from here? You originally from Fresno, Bakersfield, on from a little town called Chowchilla? You ever been up there? Oh yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, you probably blink and miss the exit. It's a small little town. It's the same. That's what I say every time. They get to laughing or they start talking. Oh yeah, I've been up there. If they start talking, then we're feeding off of that.
Okay.
But this is the kicker though. If you start the presentation outside and they say, "Come on in," those are 1,000.
It's a lay down.
No, you're getting those for sure. Because if they didn't want to even hear you, they would have slammed the door in your face. But then now they said, no, I don't want you in.
They like you.
Now, come on in. You're closing that.
So what do you go to if you're talking to them? You give them your little Chowchilla thing, and you can tell they're still just their guards up.
Then I'm going to the in-home survey.
In-home survey,
They're not really talkative. If they're still being a little reserved, then I'm going to the in-home survey. And now what I'm doing with that is I'm going to go hard on that in-home survey. I'm going to say, what was the reason that you had sent this in? Oh, I was just looking. No, I understand that, but what was the actual reason? And usually we see people look at this because they may have seen how difficult it was to either pay or plan for a final arrangement, like with the family member or for a friend, and they start to look around. Oh, yeah, my brother, my father, my family, my wife, someone passed away a year ago, 2 years ago, and I don't want my family dealing with it. Okay. There it is right there. So they have a need for it.
Yep.
Even if it's not a big one, there's a sliver of a need for it right there.
Yeah.
That's why you sent it in. You're just being a little bit reserved right now, which is not a problem. I know you're going to be reserved. I don't blame you. It's okay. It's my job as a professional to make sure that we can take that away.
100%.
So then we go through the in-home survey. Now we have a little bit of rapport. We know what they want. We know if they have any type of other life insurance. The most important thing that I always say that people have to ask is, hey, God forbid, if you were to pass away today, how would your son, your daughter, whoever they said in that survey, how would they pay for it? Do you have some savings? Do you have some life insurance? I do a rhetorical question. I say, do you have some savings, some life insurance? So that's probably why you're looking into this, right? And they'll say, yeah. And I say, that's fine. Because they'll feel embarrassed about it. They're like, no, I don't have nothing. I don't have any savings, no slight. That's what
you know I'm lying, because some people will. They're like, again, they're 70 years old. They're embarrassed to say that they don't, because they know they should take care of it.
Yeah, but see, that's what we're going to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. That's why I'm here.
100%.
Right? And then I ended off with, are you aware of the differences between a traditional and final expense life insurance? Now, these are so important because obviously in our presentation, we go over term and whole life standard policies. But what our agents and what we have to make sure that they're aware of is that even if you have another whole life policy, if you have an IUL, if you have any one of these other programs, that is still classified as a traditional life insurance for the simple fact that it's not going to be paid out within that 30 to 90 days. It takes a little bit longer for that policy to pay out. So this way, when we're doing the in-home survey, we're not only seeing their red flags, but most importantly, we're building value without them even knowing it. Now they're thinking like, okay, I don't know the difference between a traditional and final expense. I've never heard those words before.
Yeah.
In the back of their mind, they know they have a need for it. Even if it's just a sliver of a need, they have a need for it. So they're going to say, okay, I'm going to want to listen to this guy. And when you do that...
How do you explain it? How do you explain the difference between term and whole life?
Through the presentation. Yeah, through the presentation, which obviously... So after I do the in-home survey, we're going straight to the presentation. Okay. We're not...
Yeah.
We said we're going to ask a few questions. We already asked a few questions, right? Now we're going to go in the presentation, right? We're at the door. I got to give you the information.
Yeah.
Just going straight into it. After I ask that last question, I'm already pulling out the brochure and I'll be like, hey, I'll make it very easy. No worries. And then I'll just go straight into the presentation. So what we teach, though, is that, hey, you want to become an advisor.
Yeah.
So that's why you ask those questions.
Yeah.
Because now they're gonna want to listen to you. They don't want to listen to a salesman. They don't want to hear a sales pitch. They've heard them all before, right? We want to position ourselves as advisors, so that way when they look at us and when they perceive us, they're not looking at us as just some regular Joe Schmo salesman. Hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. I have a need for it. I want to listen to him.
Yeah.
And if they want to listen, not have to listen, then that's when you're going to do really good in this business.
And I think something that will help a lot of agents, or something that I used to like personally do, is when you're doing your presentation for every house that you sit in, they've already spent time working with the manager. How would you compare your presentation, right? If your manager came in behind you, if you didn't close it, would your manager have closed that deal? Would they have came in and built more rapport? Would they have gotten them to let their guard down? Like you said, peel back some of those layers.
Yeah.
Or did you exhaust everything, right? And so I think continually like asking yourself that question of what could I have done better? How can I improve? If another agent from XYZ company comes in, is it going to make me look good or is it going to make me look bad?
But you see that thought process right there?
Yeah.
You're always being accountable with yourself.
100%.
And that's what I tell people. If you can do that and you can hold yourself accountable, you're going to do fine in this business, because once you start thinking, oh, it's the leads, it's the territory, it's the way the weather is today, it's hot, you've lost.
Yeah.
Instead of looking in the mirror and say, hey, what could I have done better? Because look, people aren't going to stop buying life insurance.
100%.
100%. They're not stopping buying life insurance. So if something's not going your way or you're not having the results that you want to have, it 100% depends on you.
Yeah.
And that's the winner mindset. That's why you're so successful.
I'll tell you, it's never the leads. Like, and again, there's obviously leads are going to convert higher than lower, but again, with us, we know if someone's converting, let's say bare minimum 25%, and they should be converting higher than that. Our group's usually 30 to 35% in that range. Yeah. So if you're converting less than that, it's not the leads, it's not the area, it's nothing else other than you're doing something.
And see, that's the problem. A lot of people can't do that though, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to believe it's them.
Yeah.
They don't want to look in the mirror and be like, it's me, right?
Yeah.
But see, you look at someone like yourself, you've been successful for years and years, and that's the type of mindset that you have. Hey, if it's not going my way, if the stuff's not going how I want it to go, it depends 100% on me.
Yeah.
So you're going to fix it.
100%. Hey, I'm here to get paid.
That's right. That's right.
I'm here to get
paid. I
paid.
tell them, like, hey, look, make no mistake about it, guys. You're in the performance-based business now. You are like a professional athlete.
Yeah.
You don't go out and produce, you don't get paid.
Yeah.
So when you're starting out, even if you have some success in the beginning, you still have to practice.
Yeah.
No one gets to the league and says, oh, I don't got to practice no more.
Yeah.
I made it to the NBA, made it to the NFL, don't got to go to weights, don't got to watch what I eat, don't got to practice the plays. I'm here. I've already made it. No, when you get to the dance, you got to go that much harder.
Right? I can't remember if it was, maybe it was Kobe or someone. I heard something like a week or two ago. And I can't remember the time frame, but they said he would shoot 10,000 shots. And I don't know if it was a week or a day or whatever it was, but they're like, and he had a personal, they said, I think it was either him or Michael Jordan, one of them. They're like, these guys are hiring outside people to also coach them and train them on top of what they're getting in their team training, because they're that committed to being the best they can be.
Exactly. That's why you try to tell people, like, hey, look, the greatest athletes, they practice. The reason why they're the greatest is because they practice harder than everybody, and they keep practicing. They don't get to a certain point and be like, oh, I made it.
Yeah.
I made it. I don't got to practice no more.
Yeah.
No, I got to keep practicing, because there's always someone in the rear view. There's always someone that's gonna want your spot, right? So you always got to make sure that you're sharp.
Give me the breakdown, just like bullet points of what your main points of what you're trying to accomplish during your presentation. What are the big ones?
So first thing is, obviously, we're lucky with Lincoln Heritage, obviously, because it's a very recognizable life insurance company, recognizable brand, right? So we're very, very lucky in that aspect. So obviously, that is very quick. Hey, identifying what Lincoln Heritage is, how long they've been in business, what type of program we offer. Then the main thing is the planning. Because look, what I always try to tell people and what I want to exhaust to people is, hey, any company can offer money, right? That's not special. There's hundreds of companies that offer money when someone passes away. What separates us from these other companies and makes us number one for final expenses is this, the Guardian Society. So the bulk of my presentation is the Guardian Society and the 24-hour payout period, and how that is going to assist their family to make sure that they're not, let's say, hindered by the funeral home during the time of the passing. Because the problem is that obviously when someone passes away, not thinking about money. Family goes down to the funeral home. If they had one life insurance policy and that's the only way they pay for it, they couldn't pay $10,000 or $15,000, $20,000 out of their pocket, they would give that life insurance policy over in a heartbeat, because you're not thinking about money. You're not thinking about business decisions. You're thinking emotionally.
Yeah.
Right? Funeral homes, on the other end, they're not thinking, they're thinking, hey, only about one thing, and that's money.
Their business.
Yeah, they're not emotionally stressed. and they're thinking about money. So what we do is we level that playing field, because just like them, we're thinking about money and we're not emotional like how you are.
Yeah.
So we don't have any emotional ties to the person who just passed away. So when a funeral home comes in and says, oh, you probably want to get the $10,000 casket. Your father, he's a good man. You're going to have a lot of people here. You want to look nice, right?
Yeah.
When you're emotional in a volatile time, you're like, hey, do it.
Yeah.
That's what the policy's there for.
Yeah.
But most of the thing is, like, we all know this, typically how most funerals are paid for, cremations, etc., is people either paid out of their pocket, wait for the insurance to pay them back, or they go and they give them the policy. Right?
Yeah.
So the number one thing that they do, obviously, is they want to see how much it's worth. Now,
Given that assignment.
Yeah, give them assignment. But funeral homes, once they see that, hey, you got $30,000, you got $40,000 of a benefit, they know that their job, they're in business, is to fit their bill,
milk as much
to
they can.
match that policy, right, and make as much as they can. So my biggest thing is making sure that they're aware of not only how insurances work, not just ours, right? And I'll even say this as well. My job is not only to make you be aware of how ours works, but how insurance as a whole work, and most importantly, how they tie into your final expenses, right? Because people don't know the differences. They don't know about funerals. They don't know about this stuff, right? So they just think, oh, I got $40,000, I'm covered. But once they learn the ins and outs, the program really sells itself.
And nobody wants 40 grand spent on a funeral. I hope not.
Of course.
Most instances.
Of course not. And you can have a very respectable and a nice funeral for a fraction of that, right? So then we are qualifying them. We're seeing exactly what they qualify for, obviously, checking their medications, their health. Then once we figure out what program they qualify for, then we present them. Now, a big thing in our industry, right, in sales is the verbiage that you use, right? It's basically the words that you say. You don't want to build those walls. And if you say one bad word, one red word to them, it can turn them completely off.
Yeah.
So if you say, what I tell my guys is, you never say sold, you never say price, you never say cost, you never say sign, you never say contract. These are all hot words. You don't say, oh, I just sold your neighbor down the road, or I sold your cousin, because then they think, oh, now you're trying, you're going to sell me, buddy. That's how they think, right?
Yeah.
So instead of that, I say, hey, I got your cousin involved with the program.
Yeah.
We just got him involved with the program. Or, hey, I get 450 people, 350 people a year involved with our program. You see how much smoother that sounds, how much easier feeling?
Yeah.
Or if we quote them, we say, okay, instead of saying, hey, 20,000 is going to cost, or the price of 20,000 is X amount of dollars, I say, hey, a $20,000 benefit is in the amount. $30,000 benefit is in the amount. That way, because if you say price or cost, what's the first thing they're going to think of? Got to go shop for a better price.
Yep.
So we don't want to build any of those walls.
You're triggering things that are already there.
Exactly. And you say one of those little things and it can kill the deal, right?
Yeah.
I learned that from Tom Hopkins.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you heard of him. He's a stud. Been in the game for a long time. Like one of the first motivational guys.
Yeah.
And I was watching that video, and that's one of the things that he's big on. He's like, those little words, man, we've studied it, we've tracked it. They can kill the deal immediately.
Go through those words again one more time.
You never say sell.
What do you say instead?
You got them involved.
Okay.
You never say cost or price. You say amount. $20,000 benefit is in the amount. You never say sign. Ever say sign is a hot word. Authorize or autograph. I always say authorize.
Yeah.
You need a few authorizations, check me out Lincoln Heritage, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And then sold, cost, price, contract, and just the application.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the hot words, man. And I've never used them, and I think that's a test to it too.
100%.
That when we're going over the close, they're already feeling comfortable with, hey, all we're doing today is the application. That's basically the close. All we're doing today is the application.
Yeah.
That way and what I teach too, stickler about it, is, hey, when you're doing the quotes, even though the e-app can generate the quotes, I'm still on the e-app doing everything. It's calculating everything for me, but then I'm transferring all the information still on the quote sheet.
You're still handwriting it on the
Pen
quote.
to paper, because what I'm doing there is I'm writing their age, their quote on the top.
You're getting them,
and I'm writing
involved.
the date, so they know what's going on, so they know what if you just tell them these words, they don't know what these words mean.
Yeah.
So when I say, hey, we're just doing an application today, what that entails is that your healthy rate, and I'm circling it over and over again, your healthy rate is protected from today's date. Okay?
Yeah.
Your policy is going to be out here. It takes about 2 weeks. You have a California free look period of additional 30 days. So that way, if you want to make any changes on this policy, it's one phone call to myself. But that way, while you make these decisions, you're in the best possible situation. If anything changes with age, health, medications, anything of that nature,
you're locked in.
Yeah, you're protected. You like to use locked in because that's another hot word.
Yeah.
I used to say locked in, and I was like, protected sounds a lot better.
Oh, yeah, it does. It definitely does.
Your rate is protected from today.
I love it. I love it.
So all these little nuances, they may, like, to a new age, they may not seem like very important, but they're so important.
They're huge.
They're huge.
And then, so when you give them the 3 quotes, what's your close?
So one of the things that I've been teaching my guys is people, they just don't want to make a decision. They just cannot do it. They want to think about it. They want to look. We're in the informative age. You can look and get so much information, but at the end of the day, if you don't act on it, the information is useless.
Yep.
So people just want to look.
Yeah.
So I advise them, look, but do it while you're 100% protected on what we're going over today, because if anything has to change, if you want your money back, you want to increase, decrease, we can do all these things, but that way you do it while you're in the best possible position. You do it while you have the coverage to your name and while you have a policy on hand, right?
Yep.
But what was the question again? I'm sorry.
So when you're getting to the close, you're getting into 3 options.
So if they just won't do one, right? Now, obviously, if someone says, well, if I was going to do one, I'd do.
But you write down the 3 quotes, how much each amount is.
Only thing so I'll say this is 10 is this much, 20 is this much, 30 is this much. Any one of these is going to take care of what you want to have done. The only thing that matters to ourselves is whatever's most comfortable for you. I'll say ourselves, or I'll say the company. Okay. That way they don't think like I'm trying to sell them. Yeah. I'll say, hey, the only thing that matters to the company, the only thing that matters to ourselves, I usually say the company, is the only thing that matters to the company is whatever's most comfortable for you, and then sales 101, quiet. Yep. See what they got to say. If they go, if I was going to do it, I'd do this one. Then you just carry on through the application. What I teach my guys is the assumption close too. We're assuming a good representative never is going to ask a client if they want to go through with it.
Yeah.
What are they going to say every time, man?
Yeah,
No, I want to think about it, right? Yeah. So what I'll do is we'll do a couple of variances of, hey, free look period, receive the quote, protect the quote, receive the policy. If you have anything to change, give me a call. If they still can't do it, then I say, you know what, ma'am, sir, all these numbers, and I'll circle the 10, the 20, the 30. I'll say these are irrelevant. Any one of these are going to take care of what you want to have done based upon what you told me you want. What is the most important thing is your rate. Because once your rate is protected, you can make all these decisions while you're in the best possible situation. So what I advise to my clients is start at the lowest one. I'll tell them, start at the lowest one. Start at the lowest one, because what this is going to do, 1, it's still enough to take care of what you want to have done, and 2, it's going to protect your rate so that way you can get the policy out here and have that much more time to make that decision, right? Then, after I'm telling them that, I don't even let them answer. After I've told them you're going to get the smallest one. Yeah. Now we're going to assume it. Okay, now before we go any further, who's going to be the beneficiary? If they give you a beneficiary, that means they're for it, right? Then, okay, now if they were to pass away, who'd be the contingent beneficiary? Now, if I got two beneficiaries, I know that they're easing up and they're thinking about getting it, because if they absolutely didn't want to do it, they say, I'm not giving you any information. Yeah. We're not even going that far. But if they're giving me the beneficiaries, okay, that's check 1. Next, then I'll show them the e-app, so to make them feel comfortable that all their information that what I'm putting in, and I'll say, okay, and I'll confirm all the information, first, last name, age, telephone, all their statistics, and then I'll say, now before I forget, what is your social? If they give you the social, you're in the game, right? Oh, it's 45666, whatever. And I say, okay, does this look right? Because once we enter it, the e-app is going to lock it. We won't be able to see it anymore. And they'll say, yeah, it looks right. And I'll click on it. It'll lock it, show the last 4. And then I'll go up and I'm showing them the iPad. And I'm like, look, this is our secure e-app. What this does is it takes all of our information and it sends it directly to the company. That way I don't leave with any paper, any of your forms. It goes directly to the company. Everything's encrypted, right? I'm going down and I'll say, okay, yeah, we said beneficiaries or so and so. And I'll say, okay, perfect. The only thing we need now is or a few authorizations, either a checkbook or a bank statement. You're good to go. Just like that. Only thing we need is a couple authorizations and a checkbook or a bank statement. You're good to go. Tell them. You'll be surprised how many times they'll say no, and then you say that and they'll say okay, and they get look at their account.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's crazy how it works. Now, if they still have some reservations, that's when it's going to come up. Yeah. Right? That's when they're going to say, I told you I didn't want to do anything today. And then we're going to reiterate, hey, that's not a problem. Remember, the only thing that we're doing today is the application process. Then we can offer a post date, right? We can say, hey, if it's the middle of the month, most of our clients, sometimes they can't make the initial amount today. Not a problem. We can set it up to fit your pay schedule. So we can actually post date it out. And I'm big on my phone. I get my phone, I pull up the calendar so that way they can physically see how much time they're going to have. I'm going to say, look, we'll tell the company that you're going to make the initial amount, let's say 2 weeks from today, right? And I'll click on the 2 week mark and I'll say your rate is going to be protected from here to here, right? So you're going to have this much time to think about it. If you want to change your mind before, just give me a call. The policy dissolves. But after that, you still have that free look period to make that decision. And that way, while you make the decision, your rate is still protected on paper. Right? Now, you get the account information, you get all the information all locked in, and then this is the kicker. This is the last part. You go through everything, and you say, okay, your due date's going to be on the 5th of each month. You said you want to make your initial amount on the 5th of next month, which is about 2 weeks away. Now, that's not a problem. But now they're invested. Now they've given you all the information. They're ready to authorize on that e-app, right?
Yeah.
They're ready. Now, is there any way, if you make your initial amount today, if you can do it, your policy is going to be here that much quicker, so that way you can make that much decision that much quicker. You don't have to prolong it anymore.
So you're trying to get them to do it for the same day.
And by that time, they're a lot more invested, so they'll say, okay, how much
Let's
is it?
just go ahead and do
How much
it.
is it? $45? Okay, do it today.
How often do you get them to switch that way? Would you say 10? If you throw that 10 times, how many times?
I've never tracked it, but I would say it works a lot. Now, this isn't a hard close, right? This is a one-time we're asking. You ask,
If they say no.
You ask one time, you say no, not a problem.
But you think 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10?
I was just up in Roseville and the other day, and it was a tough day with no laydowns, no laydowns, working. I was training a new agent. It was good for him to see. We had 10 leads. We got 4 applications with 3 houses. Yeah, we gave 3. I think we gave 5 presentations. We closed 3 of them. Every single one was posted out to immediate.
Every one of them.
Every single one of them.
Really?
Now, that's not saying it happens all the time. Now, sometimes people just can't do it, right?
Yeah.
They'll say, no, I don't have any money today. I can't do it. Bless you. But another thing that you can do, too, that everybody wants a deal, right? Everyone wants to feel like they're getting the bigger end of the stick, so to say, right? If someone says, hey, it's like the 20th of the month, and they want their premiums due on the 1st or the 5th, hey, if you make your initial amount today, you're not going to see this premium again until the month after next, because we're not going to take your initial premium today and then charge you on the 5th, which is in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You can prorate and see it the next month. They'll say, okay, do it today. So all these little nuances that you can add in. Now, they're not saying that's going to work every time, but obviously nothing's going to work every time, right?
Yeah.
But at least you have to try.
You got to have the ammo, though, right? You got to have those tools in your belt.
Exactly. Now, just like I said, those aren't hard closes. This isn't like we're going back and forth like when we're trying to get the application done. This is just one and done. Let's just ask them, because now they're comfortable doing it. I got their account information, got their social. We're all ready to authorize everything. Let's just ask them.
Yeah.
If they say yay, we're in the game. If they say nay, we're still in the
problem.
game.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. Not a problem at all. So
Awesome. At the end of your close, how long do you typically stay with the client after let's say everything's done? What's your wrap up?
That really depends. Sometimes we'll talk to people, they're talkers, they want to talk. We'll talk to them for a little bit, but at that point, we've already been in there maybe like 45 minutes to an hour at some points. That's typically the time that I spend with people. I try to give everyone a good amount of time. At that point, I'd say, bring it in for the real thing, give us a hug, seal it off that way, and then say, hey, do you have any other questions before I get out of here?
Yeah.
And then, no, you have a good rest of the day. Thank you very much. And that was it. Not too long. Sometimes if they're showing me stuff, I might stay around for a little bit, but at the end of the day after that, I've already built a rapport. I've already been there for 45 minutes. My presentation maybe takes 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Full 8 to 10 minutes. So the other time of the sit down, I've already been doing that.
You're already talking with them.
Yeah. And then at that point, they're like, hey, I want you to get out too.
Yeah.
This one lady, she was falling. She was like, you need to hurry up because I'm falling asleep. So by the time we closed, I said, I know she wants us to get out of here so she can go to sleep. And she started laughing and gave him a hug and dipped. So.
Awesome. Do you ask for referrals?
If anybody else is in the house, I'm writing them for sure.
Yeah.
100%. We're trying to get those. But as far as referrals, that's usually the referrals that I get is if anyone else is in the house.
Okay.
Obviously, just like I said, no one's ever perfect, myself included. Obviously, that would probably be a big game changer if I sweated referrals more. But the way that I look at it, and this, I'm not saying that this is the perfect way, but just the way that I've done it for the last coming up on 11 years is, hey, I've always had so many people to go see, and with the rate that we're closing at, I know that if I stay diligent with the leads, I'm going to make it happen. But if anyone else is in the house, we're 100% doing that.
You're right, trying to everybody.
If we could wrap the dog, we could.
So, seeing with the agents you're training now, what would be like the number one thing that you see that new agents are typically doing wrong? If you could see like one, obviously every agent's different.
Yeah. One thing that they do wrong, I would say it's just all about time, man. If you're really hungry and you really want this to work, you're going to go put the time in. The number one thing that agents do wrong is they don't go out and they don't put forth the time.
Yeah. 100%.
If you're learning, obviously other than not learning the material, if you don't learn the material, then you could be putting all the time in the world and it doesn't matter, right? You got to be prepared. Failing to prepare, failing to prepare is preparing to fail, right?
Yeah.
You have to be prepared. And if you're a professional and you carry yourself as a professional and you really want this to work, then you will be prepared. If you don't, if you piss in the wind, so to say, which I tell my guys, I say that all the time, that's what we're not doing, then you're not going to do good here. You're not going to do good anywhere if you don't put time in. When you, as you're a professional, the only thing that we got every day, bro, is our enthusiasm for what we do.
Yeah.
If you don't have enthusiasm for what you do, especially in sales, you're not going to have any success. You're going to go to someone's house, you're going to be down on your luck, not happy-go-lucky. You're not going to get, no one's going to want to do business with you that way.
Yeah.
That's what another thing Tom Hopkins said. He said, you become a true professional in sales when you know that the only thing that you have every day in and day out is your enthusiasm for what you do, right? Sure, you're going to have great days, you're going to have bad days. But as long as you stay enthusiastic, you're going to get to those bad days. There's going to be a lot more good days than bad days.
Yeah. That's the truth. So anybody, let me see. What's the best day you've ever had in the field?
I think it was like, as far as like premium wise, it's hard to answer that question because you can write a lot of premium in one house or you can have multiple houses, right?
Yeah.
So I think best day in the field, there's been days where, you know, written multiple houses for $100, 4 or 5 houses, or just or written everybody that we sat down with, doing 5 or 6 presentations in different houses and just writing everybody.
Yeah.
I remember one day I was going, I forgot what town I was in, but it was like just some people, like there was this one young, she's like my age, and she was just like, gave her like a quick presentation at the door. Kids were running around. She's like, yeah, that's what I want. So as far as premium, I would say maybe $500 in premium one day. And then as far as like different households, I think maybe 6 houses where just closed everybody, didn't get told no one time a day.
Those are always good days.
But just recently, so from Friday afternoon to Sunday, Friday afternoon from 3 from the cutoff to Sunday at night, just this last weekend I was able to make $4,000 in commissions.
That's
2.5 days.
I love that.
And it wasn't even, I was hustling, but it wasn't like back-breaking hustling work. It was just like I was running into people, getting them involved immediately, and it was just, it's nice when that happens.
That's super fun.
Those days are always fun.
Yeah. Do you know or do you track what your hourly rate is of what you typically make from time worked to?
No, that's one thing I don't track. I could probably be good at that. So my thing is sometimes, and I've always kind of looked like this, is all I need is a couple doors. That's my mindset. Like sometimes, like obviously there's days where we're going and grinding, we're working from sun up to sundown.
Yeah.
We're training people, right?
Yeah.
We're working from sun up to sundown. But from a day-to-day basis, like my whole vision, and not saying this is the best, because not every agent is going to be me or even be you, is all I need is a couple doors.
Yeah.
If I can talk to about 3 or 5 people, I know that I'm going to be closing 60% of those sit downs for sure.
Yeah.
Unless it's just some crazy stuff happening where it's like you got asshole written on your forehead, which those days happen too.
Oh yeah.
But even when I have those days, as long as I stay diligent and I go see people, I know that I'm gonna get mine.
But it's because you've honed in your craft. You've mastered it to where most agents don't give themselves enough time to ever get there. And like you said, there's literally is no shortcuts. The more time they spend studying the script, the more time they spend talking to their manager to plug in the trainings, 100%. To doing all those things, and then going out and then putting in the consistency and time.
Because I didn't start like that. There were certain days where, just like I said, I second guessed myself. Hey, could I ever do that? Can I even do this? Did I get lucky? Was it just the people that I was seeing?
Yeah.
So those early days are going to come, but the whole thing about this is that everyone's going to have a learning curve in what you do, right? It's your decision how long you want that learning curve to be.
Yeah.
Do you want it to be 6 months? Do you want it to be a year? Or do you want your learning curve to be 2 months, 3 months? It's all going to be dictated to you on how much effort you put out.
Yeah.
Now, in the beginning, sure, there's going to be times when you start out, like a year down the road, where you're like, hey, man, if I saw that same person now, I would have closed them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
you might get that lead. They're going to mail it back in.
But it's a volume thing, right? We're in a volume business. We're not going to get rich off one app. We're not going to get rich off 100 apps. We're going to get rich off dozens of thousands of apps, right? That's the whole goal here, is to have a big volume of people that we have on the books that we're insuring. So when I tell people, hey, in the beginning, you just got to do 2 things, man. You got to learn and you got to earn, right? You got to be able to get the ones that you can get. And from the ones that you don't get, you got to be able to learn from it and become a better agent, right? So if you want to be good at this as quick as possible, you need to go and see the people, and then you still need to practice. I tell people you have to do this presentations 40 to 50 times a week. If you're only doing 10 in real life, you have to make up those other 40.
Maybe practicing it.
Practicing, doing the mirror, doing it with your spouse, doing it in the car on the way to work.
Yeah.
Think about it, because you tell me, who do you think is going to be a better agent quicker? Someone that goes out and does 10 presentations a week, or someone who does 10 live presentations and then does 30 or 40 by themselves?
Oh, all day.
100%.
All day.
So that's what I try to stress to my guys. That's what I did when I came in. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah.
Was, hey, if I'm going to go give a presentation, if I didn't close, I'm practicing my presentation again, and then I'm even saying what they said. I used to practice my presentation and then say, oh, Andrew, sounds good, but you know what, I just want to think about it.
Yeah.
And then I practice how I'd rebuttal it, because
Yeah.
just how the presentation has to be on point. When your rebuttals come, you have to be locked in, or else you're going to have that nasty, reeking commission breath come out.
Yeah.
If you have that, you're dead in the water. Right?
100%.
So like my objections, when they hit me with objection, I'm cool, calm, and collected.
You're ready.
I'm advising them
Yeah.
on how you can still do what you want to do, but do it while you're in the best possible situation. And if it is important to them enough, they're going to do it 9 out of 10 times. If it's not important, we don't have 2 legs to stand on here, but if it is, everything that I'm advising them to do at that point, they'll do it.
Yeah.
You can't pay today, it's post-date it out.
Yeah.
This one's too expensive, let's go lower. I tell people, you dictate one thing. You dictate the application date. That's it. You let them tell you how much they want, and you let them tell you when they want to make it. Right? Now, sure, we're going to try to get it immediate. We'll do these little tricks.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they say no.
Yeah.
So,
Another thing that you're really good at in comparison, I've worked with a lot of agents. We got a lot of managers. You've always been good at, or at least it's always appeared, and from what I hear, you're good at managing your money and your finances. Is that something you talk to about, like with your agents and stuff as well?
of course, yeah. In the beginning, you have to be very aware of that, right? Even the way the system's set up, Lincoln, the way they do it as far as the financing, you can have money coming in even if you're in debt with the company, which is a wonderful thing, right? You're going to have cash flow, but you never know when you told me this, man. You never know when you're going to have a bad month. You never know what's going to happen, right? Now, sure, you're going to be good at what you do, and if you have anything to say about it, you're going to be fine, but you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
What happens when with 1 month you have a couple tires blow out, or you have to have an unexpected expense, right?
Yeah.
That's going to derail you from making additional money. So, yeah, you have to be good with your money, for sure.
And so do you recommend like your agents just trying to save, or do you give any advice that way?
I always say take a certain percentage, whatever you can afford, and just set it to the side. You know, set it to the side. That way you have a little reserve. That way you're not so pressed.
Yeah.
Because if you get pressed, guess what comes back?
Commission breath.
Commission breath.
100%.
I need the deal right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a big thing, right? In the beginning, when you're first starting out, that's a tough thing to do because you're living on commission to commission.
Yeah.
Obviously, it helps. It gets better as time goes on when your pay through builds, right? That's the whole X factor. But in the beginning, you're living commission to commission. That's why it's a very small percentage of people that can do what we do.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the things that derails new agents too, especially they come like from a 9-to-5 background. Like I've worked with people who have had 9-to-5s. They would have been really good at this, look good, talk good, but they just can't get it through the mental. Oh my gosh, I got $1,500 in bills coming. I got X amount of dollars in my account. They don't know where their next dollar is coming from.
Yeah.
But if you look at it like that,
You're focused on the
you're
wrong
focused
thing.
on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You should be looking like, okay, if I go do my stuff and I'm doing it and I'm diligent, I'm not gonna have a problem with money. Now, sure, I may not have it right now, but I know if I go out and work, it's gonna come.
Yeah.
Because you can go. I was talking to a guy right now. He's a barber and he just started, and he went and just wrote a max out and he made the $800 commission. Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, how many haircuts would you have to cut to do that? And he told me the number. I can't remember the number what it was, but I was like, see, look, I know 45 minutes of my time.
Yeah.
It's all about what you focus on. Whatever you focus on is going to be the reality.
100%.
You focus on you're having a bad day, you're out there and you're like, man, I'm driving around, I'm wasting gas, I'm burning tread on my tires, I'm not talking to nobody, I'm getting cussed out, this is the worst ever.
Yeah.
You're going to have that reality.
Yeah.
If I have days like that, which few and far between, but I still have them.
Yeah.
No one's perfect. I still have those days. I'm thinking like, hey, at least I'm out here.
Yeah.
At least I'm out here putting the time in, knocking the doors and seeing the people. Because what I tell people, my agents are like, hey, you can go put in 8-10 hours, and sure, you may not make nothing for those first 5 or 6.
Yeah.
You might not even make nothing for the first 10.
Yeah.
What's going to happen the next 10 or the next 3 or the next 5? Because those are the hours that count. Because then next thing you know, you got laydowns. People like been waiting for you. Oh, I want this.
Yeah.
So gotta stay positive, man. Not just in business, but in life. You're gonna get knocked down. You're gonna be face down at some points.
100%.
And if you say, "Oh, poor me, I'm gonna stay down here and go belly up," then you're already dead in the water.
And I talk to a lot of agents. I like to know what my hourly rate is. I get it. I get that from Ray.
Yeah.
Even before I got into this, Ray would always break it down to the second. And he'd be like, I'm making $3 a second or something, 60 seconds or every 60 seconds. I'm getting paid that every 24 hours a day, 365 days a week. Like he always knew his income down to literally the second and how much he made a minute, an hour, that kind of thing. And when I talk to agents, I've talked to a lot of people, and there's so many people in our business. And I was even breaking it down with some other agents like this last week. Well, I'm watching people that for their actual working time, they're making $50, $60, $100, $120 an hour, right? Crazy. And it's to have the perspective of, like you said, you might go 10 hours and not get paid anything, But whenever you actually realize that 10 hours you put in, you're actually making $120. It's going to average out, right? Like it's going to average out for your time.
Or you say like people who not knocking the 9 to 5s any way you get it is good. You're a hustler. But I'm saying like you can go and work a 9 to 5 and you can have X amount of dollars. You're going to make $800 a month, $1,000 a month, a week. Excuse me, a week. $800 a week, $1,000 a week. Even if you have a bad day here, you can go out and make that in 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
So if you always focus on that outcome, you're going to have that outcome. If you focus on, oh, I don't know where my next paycheck's going to be, poor me, how am I going to pay my bills? You're going to have a negative outlook on the business, which is going to bleed over to the way that you're being perceived or the way that you're presenting yourself to the client, which is going to perceive you as a broken salesman, right? That has commission breath, which equals them not want to do business with you.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle.
And I would say anybody coming from 9 to 5 too, everybody's self-employed. So you can work 10 hours a week, you can work 100 hours a week. It's completely up to you. But my thing is, if someone's coming from a 40-hour a week job or a 50-hour a week job,
you put 40 hours to yourself.
100%. And
you be the boss. You're like, okay, I was working 40. Now I'm going to work 20 when it comes to myself. That's the one thing I don't understand either, bro.
Yeah.
Now you're working for yourself. You should be like, I'm going to do 50, 60.
And people, a lot of times, they'll be like, oh, my drive time. I had to drive 45 minutes to my leads. And it's look, if you had to drive to your regular job, they're not paying you for driving that 45 minutes. You could factor it in if you want, but it's, look, give me a true 40 from that first door to that last door. Give me a true 50.
And see what happens.
Yeah. Jack London used to say he has his 10-point system. And part of it was he's worked 50 hours a week. And I guarantee you'll increase your net worth by $1 million within 10 years. And 100%. It's something that there is no shortcut for time, no matter how good you are, no matter anything else, but especially that first 3 months, 6 months, year for an agent, that if they can just get that part of,
you got to be grinding.
Yeah, just go.
Grinding. And really think about it though. Say for an instance, if someone opened up their own brick and mortar, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to open up a business, any type of brick and mortar. You want to open up a meat shop, a clothing store, whatever the case is, whatever you're selling, a candy store.
Yeah.
You're not going to open up shop and then do part-time work.
Yeah.
You're not going to be like, I invested all this money, got the building, got the inventory, and now I'm going to go work 4 hours a day or 3 hours a day because I'm my own boss. No, you're going to have passion for it, and you're going to be putting in more time, and that's why you're going to be successful at it. That's what always gets me, man, is you'll go to work when you're on a schedule, when your boss tells you have to go to work, you'll show up bright and early. You'll be there even 10 minutes before.
Yeah.
But now that you're the boss and you're making the decisions, you don't want to go to work?
Yeah.
You don't want to go work. You have to be told to get told. And some people do. I'm not knocking them, but some people do.
Yeah.
You, me, don't have that. Hey, I know I got to go make money.
Yeah.
There's no way around that. I got to get paid.
Yeah.
And I know that I got to go to work. This one guy, he's just coming on. I'm excited for him. I think he's going to do pretty good. But I talked to him maybe about last year in October, November, somewhere around that time frame. And he goes, I just want to do it part-time. I got a nice job. And I'm like, hey, check it out. Part-time really doesn't work here. You may be special and you may be able to do full-time numbers, but the whole time I've been here, it doesn't work. Because what happens is you give it part-time effort, you get part-time results, you get burnt out, and you say, I'm just going to go back to my 9 to 5. Yeah. Didn't end up working out, left it at that. He applies again, right? At just 2 months ago, a month ago. And I'm thinking, I'm looking, talking to him, like, this guy sounds familiar. And I go back to, and I hit his number in like my text messages, and I'm like, this was the guy I was talking to. And he was saying that the job that he was working at just let him go. And he was saying that I don't know what it is, man. I'm just scared to do sales. I'm just nervous about it. I said, nervous about what? And he goes, not making any money. And I said, so hold on. Listen to this. You worked full-time at that 9 to 5, and they still let you go? And he said, yeah. And I said, would you say that you performed good at your job? Would you say that you gave it your all? He goes, 100%. I gave it everything I had. And I said, and they still let you go. You're scared to go work for yourself and go and have maybe not making any money, but here you are working 9 to 5, busting your tail for a company, and they still let you go. That's what I would be scared of, is giving it full effort, performing, and still be letting go. Yeah. There's no job security there. I said, if you do that here, if you do that same amount of hours, and you perform to the best of your ability here, and you give it your all like you gave that company, you'll never fire yourself here. Yeah. So see, that's the mindset. People are scared of not making any money, but then they're okay with possibly going 9 to 5, wasting 6 months of their life, because this was like about 6 months since we talked. Yeah. Wasted 6 months of his time where he could already been started, and the job let him go. That he was so wanting to hold on to. I got this 9 to 5, need to keep it, and they let him go.
Yeah.
You're not scared of that. You're scared of going and working for yourself.
100%.
So after he's about to go in the gym right now. He's like, I don't even need no pre-workout. I'm pumped up, bro. I'm ready to go.
And that's the thing too, is once you have the skill set, right, you can work anywhere.
Sure.
It's once you learn sales, I've had different sales careers, and it's like, the money's going to be there. If I put in the work, once you have the skill set, it's like you don't ever have to worry about getting let go or another job or anything like that.
Because people are always going to be buying something.
100%.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Man, I appreciate you coming in. Anything else that you want to touch base on?
You know what? I'm just excited for the future, man, and I'm proud to be working alongside with you. And if anybody wants to get a hold of me, look at my socials, The Real D Wood or AWA Associates on Instagram if you want to get a hold of me.
I'm going to share, and I'll share all your links too. And then if anybody wants to hit you up that wants to learn more, we'll definitely provide all your info.
All my info.
You let me know the best way for them to get in touch with you. And again, I'm sure if anybody's out there that's on the fence, maybe you're struggling, you don't have the right culture, the right support, you definitely need to reach out to Dylan. He's a killer, man.
Appreciate it.
Literally, you went converting 50%. Phenomenal.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you again.
Sure.
Thanks, D.
For sure.